Hey fragrance friends and enthusiasts, welcome back. It's good old Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel talking about another beauty, another gem, hidden gem. This is Zino by Davidoff. Guys, this is completely under the radar. Not everybody knows about it. Not everybody's talking about it. And it's really a solid fragrance. If you're a gent, if you've been wondering, hey Ben, where's the fougères? Where's the complex fragrances or the fragrances from the 80s or the 90s that I really like with that, classic vibe? I think I got you covered here, guys. This has got it. This has got some of that soapy animalic kind of DNA in the background, but it has some resins. It has some smokiness. It's really complex. I don't really want to dive too much into the notes. I want to keep this short and sweet, but I will include Fragrantica down below if you would like to look more into the notes. And what is making this fragrance tick? What's in this fragrance? One of the key players to this fragrance, though, again, is the patchouli. With that soapy animalic quality, the patchouli really comes through, adding a really, really nice complexity to this fragrance. Of course, patchouli is multifaceted, and it adds a little bit of, this one's not earthy exactly, but it's a little bit on that dark side, almost that dry, almost medicinal side of patchouli. It doesn't go exactly medicinal. It's still pretty likable, but it kind of goes in that direction, which patchouli can do if y'all don't know. And that animalic soapy vibe is really here. There's some green aspects hidden up, maybe a little bit of spices, but overall, it's a complex little fragrance. This is unique. Not everything smells like this. Actually, there's very little that smells like this, but it's a little bit of a far reach. It's a little bit of a long throw, but I do feel like this fragrance, it's not the same composition or smell, but it feels somewhat similar to Mugler Amen or Angel Men by Mugler. And I think that this might have been a predecessor or might have slightly influenced Amen, because this reminds me of it somewhat slightly. Now, they're different. I don't want to compare and contrast the two, but I do feel like this could have been an inspiration and perhaps, set the ground or set the footing or put the fragrance industry, on that track towards more unique but also sweet fragrances with some complexity and, of course, powerhouse vibes for sure. So anyways, guys, Zino is quite likable in its own little way. Again, I like this better than Koros. I think that if you have the money, if you are going to go for one of these soapy animalic classic gent fragrances, Anateus is one of the best to go for, but Anateus is expensive, and it's a little bit more on the green side. This is a little bit more on the dark side, and there is some sweetness as well. So this is very was before its time. It was kind of contemporary. It was a big leap forward, or some people out there who like the classic oak moss deep green classic fragrances from the 80s and the like actually really don't like this one. I've seen actually some fragrance reviewers actually think that this is kind of like a mess. I can see why some people might like it. Smokiness is quite different if you're familiar with classic gentlemanly green fragrances, and also it has some sweetness, and it's a little bit more unusual as a creation. It's mixing a lot of things together, a tiny bit of green, soapy and animalic DNA, kind of that Koros kind of vibe, and it goes smoky sweet at the same time. So multifaceted, multi-dimensional, lots of weird stuff going on here, but it's quite interesting. Again, please look up the notes. I don't want to waste your time, and some people really don't like hearing about the notes, so definitely go to Fragrantica and double check the notes. There's a lot of funny stuff going on in this one. So anyways, longevity wise, as far as I know, this one has been reformulated to death. It's sad to hear, but it has been. We'll talk about if it's still worth the money and if it's still good later on in the video, but it has been reformed to death. Used to be a super big powerhouse, but in my experience, this will give you about 6, maybe 7 hours. It's not near as strong as from what I hear. I've never smelled an original bottle, but from what I hear, this is really weak compared to the original. Projection is more on the average side. Sillage is kind of average as well, but again, this is a little bit more of a unique smell. It does get noticed a little bit more than I would think, but it's a really interesting fragrance, and I think that's one reason that other people are able to pick up on it a little bit more than you would expect. Again, it's very, the longevity could be better, but it's not bad. It's not terrible, but for something that is a little bit more complex and a little bit darker feeling and almost smoky, you kind of would expect some stronger performance, but I mean, I guess that makes it more wearable. It's not really super heavy or super dense, or it's not going to push or be in people's faces. I guess that could be a good thing. But you know, compliment factor wise, guys, this didn't get me a lot of compliments. Did make me smell a little bit more dressed up. Some people might say aged. Some people might say gentlemanly. Yes, I do think that this has a very classic type of DNA about it, and it will make you smell a little bit more refined. But again, this was a little bit more unusual. It's not exactly a classy fragrance. It's not an Aqua de Parma. This is not an Hermes. This is a fragrance that is a little bit more like a night out on the town kind of fragrance because it's smoky and sweet. But yet, it's a little bit classic, so I don't know. I don't want to, you know, put people off of this fragrance. I do think it's worth checking out, but I would suspect that you might have to be 30 plus. I mean, if you're a younger, playful guy going for Ultramall, Dior Sauvage, and Bleu de Chanel, and Azara Wanted, and YSL Y, and all that good stuff, if that's your jam, I don't think that you would like this, but I do think it's worth checking out. If you're Encre Noir lover, definitely I think this is worth checking out if you like the smoky vibes. So guys, you know, that's a good reference point. Younger guys, maybe not. Encre Noir lovers and smoky fragrance lovers, this one might be worth checking out. It's not terribly smoky, but anyways, let's jump to the last point. Let's jump from the compliment factor to the price and the value. One of the reasons why, you know, I'm kind of beating it up at some points, and then at some points I'm also speaking kind of highly about it, is because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about it. It's the value. It's the affordability. Guys, this fragrance is so under the radar, and I don't know if it's discontinued. I don't know if they're trying to get rid of it. I don't know if Davidoff is kind of liquidating, or I'm kind of worried about Davidoff. I don't know if their newer releases have been, you know, helping the company stay afloat. I'm not really sure. But you can get this. It's a 4.2 ounce bottle. Again, not a 3 ounce, a 4 ounce bottle, a big one. And you can get, I got it shipped to my door for 17 buckaroos. 17 bucks, 4 ounces? That's dirt cheap, guys. This is a dirt cheap juice. This is an under 20 bucks fragrance in your pocket. Cheapy alert, absolutely. So, guys, I think it's worth checking out. If it sounded nice to you, I do think this is a little bit more, even though it's unusual, I think it's a little bit more modern than a lot of some of the classic green fragrances. And I'm not saying the classic green stuff is bad. I'm just saying that if you maybe are a younger guy, maybe 25, you know, this might be a little bit more approachable, even though it's quite unique and it's quite strange in its own right. So for some people, this is going to be a big mix. This was a risky fragrance. It's a risky composition. Is it amazing? No, maybe not. Has it lost a lot of its beauty and a lot of its strength because of reformulations? Probably. Again, I cannot confirm or deny that. But is it, for 17 bucks, is it still a good value? For 17 bucks, absolutely. You know, if you're paying $25 or less for a 4.2 ounce bottle of this stuff, I don't think you can go wrong. Again, I do think that you have to be in the mood. You know, this fragrance is not going to work for everybody, and it's likely isn't going to be a big compliment getter, but it is a fun fragrance in its own right. I enjoy this little fragrance from time to time whenever I want some of those 80s vibes. If I want to get outside of the citrus aromatics, you know, and the things like Eau Sauvage or the classic, you know, really fresh, gentlemanly fougere fragrances, this one really kind of is fun to try out and wear every once in a while. So let me know, have you tried this fragrance out? What do you think about my review today? Have you tried this fragrance? I think it's worth checking out. I think it's worth trying. You know, if you're just building a collection, maybe you've never tried a smoky fragrance, or maybe you've never tried a patchouli fragrance. Maybe you don't know what this Kouros deal is and you don't want to spend the money for Kouros, and you want something that's maybe a little bit more wearable, in my opinion, than Kouros. You might want to check this one out. I think it's worth trying, even though it probably isn't going to work for everybody. Again, I tried to say it, I'll say it again. This is not a compliment magnet fragrance, guys. But I'll see you next time, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed my review. I hope that I added value. I hope that it was a little bit fun. And I hope that you enjoyed hearing about another beautiful fragrance here today. So if you did like my content, If you like this video, you like what you saw, you know me, baby, you like what you heard, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. So I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a good one. Be safe. Be well. Enjoy your beautiful fragrances. And, of course, I'll, find the beautiful fragrances. Wear what you like. Peace out and bye.